Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to my October mid-month wrap-up. So far this month I have finished a total of 13 books and DNF'd 1. I'm currently in the middle of 3 books. 2 of them, or at least one of them, I should finish before tomorrow, which is technically the middle of the month. So I'll have 15 books or 14 books completed. I could possibly finish 2 of them. But though I'm currently in the middle of Grimstone by Sophie Lark, I have like 25% of that left. But the daylight is rapidly going away, so I need to film. I was hoping to finish it, but I've just been busy like doing other stuff. And then I'm in the middle of Morbidly Yours. I can't think of the author, but I'll have it right here. It's good so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 50% of the way through that one. And then I'm in the middle of my reread of Twist by Lucia Franco. And I've just been putting it off because I've been reading, like, I've had like other things I needed to get read first, or like new releases that came out that I'm like, I need to get those read. And this is just a reread, so it's not that important that I read it. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on the books that I have finished. So the first book that I completed in the month, if you don't know, I do my wrap-ups in order of how I completed them. May not necessarily be how I started them, because I started Twist on the first day of the month and I'm still reading it. So so the first book that I completed this month was 4 Psychos by Kristy Cunning. This is a why choose romance between a ghost-like creature, female, and 4 men who are like Reaper-like creatures from hell or the underworld. Their names are Jude, Ezekiel, Gage, and Kai, or as Kayla, which is what they have called her, calls them, are Jude is 4, Ezekiel is number 2, Gage is number 3, and Kai is number 1. And she really has like she does not like number 3 very much. But it's a why choose romance where like the more she's around them, like the more she's like tethered to them and has to be around them, or like she like forgets who she is, and like, or she doesn't, I don't know, it's very hard to explain. But it was on Audible Plus. It should still be there probably at least until the end of the month. Usually like they cycle through like monthly or quarterly, so it should still be there. But yes, sorry, I just got a text message that I need to pick my losers for the week, but I will do that in a minute. It should still be on Audible Plus. Wow, I am rambling this month, but I also do have a vlog where I read it for the Monster Mash readathon. I will link that vlog up there. Then I finished Hotel of Secrets by Diana Biller. This is a historical romance where the hero is a virgin, which is rare, and like the heroine is she's the daughter of a scandal, and like she's kind of scandalous, and she runs this hotel that like her great grandmother was given because like every woman in her in her family has like slept with someone like really up high, and it's been like to pass down through those generations is like that, because that's like their thing. So, but it was really good. I had a great time with it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It is Maria Vollner and Eli Whitaker, and Eli is an American visiting this hotel, the Hotel Vollner, and yeah, they have a relationship. There's a little bit of solo action where he said he was celibate. He was just still a virgin, like hadn't done anything, so it was a good time. Then I read Under the Stars by Laura Pavlov. This is my new favorite Laura Pavlov book. This is the second book in the, I can't think of the name of the series, but whatever, the Cottonwood Cove. The second book in the Cottonwood Cove series. This follows Georgie, the youngest daughter of the Reynolds family. The first book followed her older brother, and she gets a new job working as a PA for a guy named Maddox, who has started I can't remember what he did, but she was his PA. And of course, like, she was super sunshiny and he was super grumpy, and I think one thing's gonna lead to another. She calls him boss man, he calls her Tank. It was adorable. Like, he even called her that at work, like, no like qualms about it. Like, yeah, had a great time with it. Gave it 5 stars. Then I finished my arc of Good Game by Madison Fox on YouTube. She wrote a book, and it is phenomenal. I give 5 stars. It is debut. It did not feel like a debut. Like, the way that she, like, I can't put into words how much I loved it. It was so good. It follows Stevie and Blade, aka Alex. And Alex goes by, he is a masked gamer, and he meets Stevie at an event, and then he also meets her again as himself, as Alex. And she feels this attraction to both of them, but she feels wrong about it because she doesn't know, like, she's like, well, I'm kind of dating Alex, but I have this attraction to Blade anytime she sees him out. And of course, like, things are gonna happen. And I hate the, like, catfishy type trope, or like the hidden identity. I really don't like that. Like, and the way that it's a lot of times handled is just awful. Madison did a great job with it. Like, it's one of the best I've ever written, or I've ever read. And yeah, I gave 5 stars. I loved it. Then I finished Notorious Pleasures by Elizabeth Hoyt. I have the gold, just step back edition. I love that. I didn't love this book, but I do love collecting Elizabeth Hoyt step back. She has great step backs. This is the second book in the Maiden Lane series. This follows Griffin and Lady Hero, and Hero is engaged to Griffin's brother, and they, like, just cannot deny their attraction to one another, and they keep getting, like, drawn together. And yeah, I just, like, for how, like, high and mighty here, like, he called her Lady Perfect, like, how, like, she felt, like, the way that she was just, like, cool to cheat on her fiance was kind of, like, it was very irksome, because she was, like, so high and mighty, and, like, oh no, I'm too good, but she had no problems cheating on her fiance. So I didn't love that. But yeah, I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. She does call him Lord Shameless, and he calls her Lady Perfect, like I said. So I always love a good nickname moment in a book. So this had that in spades. Then I finished The Orc from the Office by Kate Pryor. I also read this for the Monster Mash vlog. This is a human and an orc, and the human is Janice, and she works in HR, and she's trying to get this drawer open, and it's stuck, and she ends up accidentally elbowing Kent, this orc, in the nose, and it draws blood, and that is the orc's, like, mating bond, is drawing blood. So of course things are gonna happen. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was cute, it was low angst, it was fun, it was just a quick read, a good little monster romance, like, and he is monstrous, he's an orc, and he looks like an orc, but I felt like it was not so out there, like, he was still pretty human, like, so yes. Then I finished Feathers from the Sky by Jess Wisecup. Also read this for the Monster Mash blog as a vampire novel. I don't want to say much about this because I did talk about it a lot in my vlog. But I gave this 4 stars with the potential for it to possibly become more. This follows Gwen and Roman, and they meet at one of those, like, stranger boudoir shots. And you think it's, like, you think that it is a stranger thing, but really Roman knew all along who she was, because she is a vampire hunter, and he has vampire hunter blood, and he is obviously a vampire, which that's not giving anything away, like, that's in the beginning. So, but I don't want to say much else because this book took me on a wild ride, and I am terrified for book 2, which comes out next year. So love it. I love Jess Weisskop's writing, and yeah, it's just amazing. Plus size heroine. The hero is, like, a husky man, obviously age gap because he's a vampire. He hides who he is, so there's some primal play in this, blood play obviously because he's a vampire. So many secrets, but I had a great time with it. Like I said, 4 stars with the potential for it being 5, depending on, like, all the reveals and everything in book 2. So yeah. Then I finished Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. I'm not going to say anything about this because I have a video coming out on Thursday where I talk about this in depth. So I will say that I gave it 3.5 stars. It's a Marriage in Trouble. It was my first QB Tyler, but I don't think it'll be my last. There's another series that does some of the issues in this book better, so I kept comparing it to that. And yeah, so 3.5 stars. It's Olivia and Bennett. And Bennett ends up with amnesia after a car accident, and he doesn't remember that him and his wife are getting a divorce. So yes, like I said, 3.5 stars. Check out the video on Wednesday or Thursday when it's out. I'm really excited about it, so please watch it. Then I finished Their Vicious Darling by Nikki St. Crowe. This is the 3rd book in the Vicious Lost Boys, I think is what it's called, series. It's basically a Why Choose romance of Peter Pan and Wendy and some of the Lost Boys. This is my favorite so far of all of them. It was 3.5 stars. I'm excited for the end to see what happens. But yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars. It's Winnie Darling, Vane, Peter, Bash, and Cass. It was good. I felt like this one really expanded the world a little bit more, and I listened to the audiobook, and has Shane East and Jason Clark, and both of them are just amazing in my ears. Then I finished Divine Arrivals by Rebecca Ross. I know that this book is like making its rounds. People are saying, like, comparing it with Fourth Wing and stuff. I had a good time with it. I didn't love it as much as Fourth Wing, but I had a good time with it. It's kind of a like rivals at work type of situation. They're both writers for a newspaper. Could not think of the word. Trying to like become the next columnist. They're both right now just kind of like, they write stories whenever. But both of them want to become a columnist for this newspaper. And it's Iris Winnow and Roman Carver-Kit. Loved him so much, but it's kind of got like a hidden identity. There is a little bit of like a magical element to it, obviously. I wouldn't say it's fantasy, and maybe book 2 will lean more into the fantasy. And I mean, I could see, because I do see like at the end what happened, like I could see it leaning more into the fantasy. I felt like this was more of like a historical fiction with some spattering of romance put into it. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I am nervous for what is going to happen with this couple in the second book, like actually terrified. Then the book I DNF'd was Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts. I read this for the Monster Mash vlog. After talking to other people, I think I might go back. I might finish this. I did really enjoy the relationship between Catan and Ivy. I just really did not care about any of the other stuff, like any of the politics of the world, the queen. I didn't care about any of that. It was very confusing, too much. I just wanted the relationship. Catan, right? Is that his name? Yeah. Catan is like super cinnamon rolly, and yeah. I was having a good time with the romance. I just didn't care enough about the rest of what was going on. So I might go back and finish it and just like skim through those parts and just read the romance. So it's not like a forever DNF, but it is a for now DNF. Then, because I'm a completionist and I wanted to finish and get my bingo, I read a book called The Spider. It was a 21-page novella that is basically just a woman getting banged by a spider and then having his spider babies. It was wild. I actually like filmed myself reading it in that vlog. Go watch it. It was weird. It was really weird. But I gave it 3 stars. So yes. Then I finished Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. This is like a dark rom-com following 2 serial killers who both kill other serial killers. She's called the Orb Weaver and he is the Boston Butcher. And the opening line of it is something about being a serial killer who kills other serial killers until you're stuck in a cage with a dead body for 3 days. And then he comes and saves her. And the audiobook is Joe Arden, who is like one of probably my favorite male narrator. And it was fantastic. Phenomenally done. I definitely would pay attention to the content warnings at the beginning. The author does a great job. She puts like literally everything you could think of in it. And I would pay attention to those because if you are at all squeamish, also don't eat while you're reading it, because I had to stop eating, or actually I had to stop listening so I could eat, and then I had to wait a little while. But yeah, it was kind of gross at times, like, but I still give it 5 stars. I loved it. I loved Sloan and Rowan. He falls first. Like, they're both serial killers. There's BDSM elements to it. But yeah, I had a great time. Cute nicknames, obviously. Butcher and Blackbird are their nicknames, which you understand why reading the story. And then the last book that I finished this month, or this half of the month so far, is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the final book in the Chestnut Springs series. They all could be read as standalones, but it is more fun if you read them all, because something happens to Beau in the 3rd book of the series that it is like very prevalent in this book, like what happened. You see Bailey throughout the series. She's the bartender at the Rail Spur, and she's part of the family that's like of town, like the town pariahs. And Beau is obviously in Eaton, and Eatons are basically treated like royalty in Chestnut Springs, and because they're just amazing people, all of them. And Harvey still has some great one-liners, of course. Willa is Willa and does some great Willa-y things. Winter and Beau have a sweet moment. And yeah, I mean, 5 stars. I'm so sad that this is over. The series is over. Not my favorite book in the series. Probably like, in terms of the series, this is probably like a 4-star, but I loved it. Like, if I look at it as like as an individual book, it's a 5-star. But like in terms of like the series, it's probably like a 3 or 4-star, because it's probably my, like, it's tied with Flawless. I don't know, like Reckless is number 1 for me, like, and then Heartless, and then Flawless and Hopeless are like on the same level, and then Powerless is my least favorite. So yeah, probably like in terms of like the series, probably a 4-star, but on its own, it's a 5-star, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. But yeah, I loved it. I can't wait to see what else Sophie does next, or what Elsie does next, with her next series, which you get to meet the hero. Actually, I think you met him in Heartless, but you really, like, you do get to see him a little bit more in this one. So yeah, I had a great time. But like I said, I am currently in the middle of 3 books. I should finish Grimstone. I don't know that it'll be 5 stars, but I'm having a good time with it. I don't do creepy, and it is a little dark and creepy, and so yeah, I don't know that it'll be 5 stars, but probably 4, 4.5. Having a good time with it. Morbidly Yours is really cute. Having a good time with it. Kind of, it's an interesting premise. I'll talk about it in my end month wrap-up, but yeah, so stay tuned for that. If you made it to the end of the video, leave me a green heart emoji for Hopeless, or you could leave me a, yeah, just leave me a green heart emoji, or a vampire, because I'm looking at feathers from the sky. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one.